Ever felt that panic when conversation runs dry? The audiobook Awkward Silence: How to Never Run Out of Things to Say is your solution. Unlock the secrets to effortless, engaging dialogue in any situation. Transform awkward moments into opportunities for deeper connections. Don't risk missing out on enriching relationships or career-advancing interactions. Elevate your communication skills and watch every aspect of your life flourish through the power of meaningful conversation. Say goodbye to social anxiety and hello to confident, impactful exchanges. Before we go on, I invite you to download the free bundle, which contains the ebook version of this book and an executive summary of all the chapters with the key takeaways. Studies show that engaging with content through multiple formats significantly enhances learning and retention. Click on the first link in the description to claim your free bundle now and maximize your learning potential. Now it's free, but it won't be for long, so make sure to grab it while you can. Chapter 1: Steady Footing. The silence was deafening. Sarah stood frozen, her mind racing for something, anything to say. As the seconds ticked by, she felt her cheeks flush and her palms grow clammy. How had a simple conversation about weekend plans turned into this awkward impasse? If you've ever found yourself in Sarah's shoes, desperately searching for words to fill an uncomfortable silence, you're not alone. The fear of running out of things to say is a common anxiety that plagues many of us in social situations. But what if I told you that these moments of verbal paralysis are not only avoidable, but can be transformed into opportunities for deeper connection? Welcome to Awkward Silence: How to Never Run Out of Things to Say. In this journey, we'll explore the art of effortless conversation, starting with the most crucial element: building a steady footing. This chapter is your first step towards mastering the flow of dialogue, understanding your own communication patterns, and developing the confidence to navigate any social situation with ease. Let's begin by examining what you can expect to achieve as you work through this book. First and foremost, you'll develop a confident mindset for approaching conversations. This isn't about becoming someone you're not. It's about unlocking the natural communicator within you. You'll learn to identify and manage personal anxieties related to communication, transforming nervous energy into positive engagement. Moreover, you'll gain a deep understanding of conversational structure and flow, allowing you to guide discussions smoothly and naturally. But the benefits don't stop there. As you continue to practice and internalize these concepts, you'll build lasting habits of calm, confident dialogue. Imagine entering social situations without that knot of anxiety in your stomach, instead feeling a sense of excitement and curiosity about the interactions to come. Over time, you'll notice a significant reduction in communication-related stress and a marked improvement in your overall social ease. So, what's involved in this transformative process? The journey begins with self-reflection. Take a moment to consider your communication strengths and weaknesses. Are you a natural listener but struggle to contribute? Perhaps you're quick with a joke but find it challenging to engage in deeper conversations. Understanding your starting point is crucial for targeted improvement. Next, we'll focus on establishing a mental preparation routine before conversations. This isn't about rehearsing scripts or memorizing topics. It's about cultivating a state of mind that's open, attentive, and ready to engage. We'll explore techniques to center yourself, manage pre-conversation jitters, and enter dialogues with a sense of purpose and curiosity. Finally, we'll delve into the practice of small, manageable interactions to build confidence. Like any skill, comfortable conversation improves with practice. We'll discuss strategies for turning everyday encounters into opportunities for growth, allowing you to hone your skills in low-pressure situations. You might wonder why we've chosen this particular order of steps. The answer lies in the psychology of personal growth. Reflection creates awareness, which is the foundation for any meaningful change. By understanding your current communication patterns, you can identify specific areas for improvement and celebrate your existing strengths. Preparation follows naturally from this self-awareness. Once you know your tendencies, you can develop targeted strategies to enhance your strengths and mitigate your weaknesses. This mental preparation reduces the friction caused by uncertainty, allowing you to enter conversations with greater ease and confidence. Lastly, practice ensures gradual improvement without overwhelming the learner. By focusing on small, manageable interactions, you can build your skills incrementally, celebrating small victories along the way. This approach prevents burnout and keeps motivation high as you see tangible progress in your day-to-day interactions. Now let's dive deeper into understanding the communication landscape. At its core, conversation is a dance of give and take, a flow of ideas and emotions between participants. But what exactly do we mean by conversation flow? It's the natural rhythm of dialogue where each participant contributes in turn, building upon what's been said and moving the discussion forward. When flow is achieved, conversation feels effortless and engaging. However, this flow isn't always easy to maintain. Recognizing early hurdles is crucial for preventing awkward silences before they occur. These hurdles can take many forms: a lull in the topic, a misunderstanding, or even external distractions. By learning to spot these potential stumbling blocks, you'll be better equipped to navigate around them, keeping the conversation smooth and enjoyable for all involved. Confidence and self-awareness form the bedrock of effective communication. Identifying your personal strengths is a powerful exercise in building conversational confidence. Perhaps you have a knack for asking insightful questions, or maybe you're skilled at putting others at ease with your warm demeanor. Recognizing and leveraging these strengths can provide a significant boost to your conversational abilities. Equally important is accepting your natural anxieties. It's normal to feel nervous in social situations, especially when faced with the prospect of awkward silences. The key is not to eliminate these anxieties entirely, an impossible task, but to manage them effectively. We'll explore techniques to reframe these nervous feelings as excitement and use them to fuel engaging interactions. As we near the end of this chapter, let's consider the importance of preparation for success. Developing a readiness mindset is about more than just having topics at hand. It's about cultivating an attitude of openness and curiosity. When you approach conversations with genuine interest in others and a willingness to share of yourself, you create an environment where dialogue can flourish. However, it's crucial to strike a balance between authenticity and strategy. While preparation is valuable, over-rehearsing can lead to stilted, unnatural interactions. The goal is to be prepared enough to feel confident, but flexible enough to respond genuinely to the ebb and flow of conversation. As we conclude this first step in your journey to mastering the art of conversation, remember that the skills we've discussed are just the beginning. In the chapters to come, we'll delve deeper into specific techniques for recognizing conversational cues, re-engaging during lulls, and smoothly transitioning between topics. The path ahead is filled with opportunities for growth and connection. By establishing a steady footing in your approach to communication, you're laying the groundwork for transformative changes in your social and professional life. As you move forward, keep in mind that every interaction is a chance to practice and refine your skills. What lies beyond this chapter? A world of richer, more meaningful connections awaits. You'll discover how to navigate even the most challenging conversational terrains with grace and confidence. But for now, focus on internalizing these foundational concepts. Reflect on your communication patterns, begin developing your mental preparation routine, and look for opportunities to practice in your daily life. Remember, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. You've taken that step by engaging with this material. As you continue through this book, you'll find each chapter building upon the last, providing you with a comprehensive toolkit for masterful communication. The next chapter will delve into the silent struggles that often derail our conversations, offering insights into the psychology behind these challenges and strategies to overcome them. But before we venture there, take some time to absorb the lessons of this chapter. Practice self-reflection, experiment with mental preparation techniques, and observe your interactions with a new, more informed perspective. Your journey towards never running out of things to say has begun. Embrace the process, celebrate your progress, and get ready to transform your conversational landscape. The path to confident, engaging dialogue lies ahead, and you're well on your way to mastering it. Before we continue, make sure to subscribe to Grow to the Top and activate notifications to receive more self-improvement tips that will supercharge your growth. And make sure to give this video a thumbs up and share it with your friends. It really helps the channel grow. Thank you for your support. Chapter 2: Silent Struggles. Have you ever found yourself in the midst of a conversation only to be suddenly struck by an overwhelming sense of emptiness? It's as if the words you were about to say have vanished, leaving you stranded in a sea of silence. This moment, often dreaded by many, is more than just a pause in dialogue. It's a window into the complex world of human interaction, where our deepest fears and insecurities can suddenly take center stage. As we delve into the heart of these silent struggles, we'll uncover the hidden forces that can turn a simple lull into an awkward chasm. But more importantly, we'll discover how understanding these moments can transform our approach to communication, turning potential pitfalls into opportunities for deeper connection. The importance of recognizing these silent struggles cannot be overstated. By shining a light on the root causes of conversational breakdowns, we equip ourselves with the knowledge to prevent them. It's like learning to spot the first signs of a storm before it hits. With the right awareness, we can navigate around the turbulence or even use it to our advantage. One of the key benefits of this awareness is the ability to identify moments of hesitation before they escalate. These fleeting instances, often lasting just seconds, can be the difference between a conversation that flows smoothly and one that grinds to an uncomfortable halt. By tuning into these subtle cues, we can take proactive steps to keep the dialogue alive and engaging. But what exactly are these roadblocks that stand in our way? Let's start by examining some of the common culprits. Social anxiety, for instance, can cast a long shadow over our interactions. It's not just about feeling nervous. It's a complex interplay of thoughts and emotions that can make even the simplest exchanges feel daunting. Imagine walking into a room full of strangers at a networking event. For some, this scenario is ripe with opportunity. For others, it's a minefield of potential social missteps. The fear of saying the wrong thing, of being judged, or of simply not fitting in can be paralyzing. This anxiety doesn't just affect how we speak, it influences our entire presence in the conversation. Our body language might become closed off, our voice might waver, and our mind might race, searching for the perfect thing to say. But social anxiety is just one piece of the puzzle. Another significant factor in conversational breakdowns is mismatched expectations. We often enter conversations with preconceived notions about how they should unfold. When reality doesn't align with these expectations, it can throw us off balance. For example, you might approach a colleague expecting to have a quick, casual chat about a project. But what if they launch into a detailed discussion about their personal life? This mismatch can leave you feeling unprepared and unsure how to respond. The resulting hesitation can quickly spiral into an awkward silence if not addressed. As we peel back the layers of these silent struggles, we find ourselves face to face with some of our deepest psychological barriers. Chief among these is the fear of judgment. This fear is deeply rooted in our evolutionary past. As social creatures, acceptance by our peers has long been crucial for survival. In modern contexts, this translates to a heightened sensitivity to how others perceive us. When we're caught in the grip of this fear, every word we say feels like it's under a microscope. We might second-guess ourselves, wondering if our contribution to the conversation is valuable enough, funny enough, or smart enough. This internal critic can be relentless, often leading to overthinking patterns that further disrupt our ability to engage naturally in conversation. Overthinking in conversation is like trying to dance while constantly looking at your feet. You become so focused on getting each step right that you lose the rhythm and flow of the interaction. This excessive self-monitoring can lead to hesitations, awkward pauses, and a general sense of disconnection from the conversation at hand. But what if we could reframe these silences? What if, instead of viewing them as awkward gaps to be filled, we saw them as natural parts of the conversational landscape? This shift in perspective can be transformative. Viewing pauses as neutral rather than inherently negative can alleviate much of the pressure we feel in conversation. After all, silence isn't always a sign that something has gone wrong. Sometimes it's a moment for reflection, a chance to gather thoughts, or simply a natural ebb in the flow of dialogue. By normalizing these natural lulls, we can approach conversations with greater ease and authenticity. Instead of scrambling to fill every moment with words, we can learn to be comfortable in the quiet spaces. This comfort not only reduces our own anxiety, but can also put our conversation partners at ease. So how can we apply these insights in real life? One practical step is to practice observing how anxiety impacts conversational flow. The next time you're in a social situation, try to notice the moments when you feel tension or hesitation creeping in. What triggers these feelings? How do they affect your ability to engage in the conversation? Another valuable technique is to use mindfulness to stay present during silences. Instead of getting caught up in worries about what to say next, focus on your breath or on actively listening to your conversation partner. This grounding can help prevent the spiral of overthinking that often leads to awkward silences. As you implement these strategies, you might wonder what outcomes you can expect. At a basic level, you'll likely find yourself recognizing awkward silences early, before they become prolonged or uncomfortable. This awareness alone can be empowering, giving you the opportunity to address potential issues before they escalate. With practice, you may find yourself able to quickly transition from silence into conversation. This skill is like having a conversational toolkit at your fingertips, ready to bridge gaps and keep the dialogue flowing smoothly. The ultimate goal, however, is to reach a point where you can avoid silences altogether through proactive communication. This doesn't mean filling every moment with chatter, but rather developing an intuitive sense of the conversation's rhythm and contributing in a way that maintains engagement and interest. Of course, as with any skill, there can be pitfalls along the way. One common issue is overanalyzing silences, turning brief pauses into sources of anxiety. If you find yourself doing this, try using grounding techniques to bring your focus back to the present moment. Take a deep breath, notice your surroundings, or mentally list a few things you can see or hear. These simple actions can help break the cycle of overthinking. Another potential problem is misinterpreting pauses as disinterest. It's easy to assume that if someone isn't immediately responding, they must not be engaged in the conversation. However, this isn't always the case. People process information at different speeds, and some may simply need more time to formulate their thoughts. If you're unsure, try asking a clarifying question. This not only shows that you're interested in their perspective, but also gives them an opportunity to re-engage with the conversation. As we wrap up our exploration of silent struggles, it's clear that these moments of hesitation and uncertainty are more than just awkward pauses. They're windows into our psyche, revealing our fears, expectations, and deeply ingrained patterns of thought. By understanding and addressing these underlying factors, we can transform our approach to conversation, turning potential stumbling blocks into stepping stones for more meaningful communication. Remember, the goal isn't to eliminate silences entirely. That would create a different kind of awkwardness. Instead, it's about developing the awareness and skills to navigate these moments with grace and confidence. As you continue to practice and refine these techniques, you'll likely find that conversations become more natural, more engaging, and more enjoyable. But our journey through the intricacies of communication doesn't end here. As we move forward, we'll delve into even more nuanced aspects of dialogue. The next chapter will unveil a powerful tool in your conversational arsenal, one that can turn even the most challenging silences into opportunities for connection. Are you ready to discover the secret of transforming awkward pauses into moments of genuine engagement? The answer lies just beyond the horizon, in the realm where silence meets opportunity. Chapter 3. Recognize pauses. In the intricate dance of conversation, there's a subtle rhythm that often goes unnoticed. It's the ebb and flow of dialogue, punctuated by moments of quiet that can either enhance or disrupt the harmony of our interactions. These moments, these pauses, hold more power than we might realize. They're not just empty spaces between words, they're opportunities waiting to be recognized and harnessed. As we embark on this chapter, we'll uncover the hidden language of pauses. You'll discover that these brief interludes in conversation are far from empty. They're rich with meaning and potential. But to tap into this potential, we first need to develop a keen awareness of when and how these pauses occur. Think of it as developing a sixth sense for conversation. Just as a skilled musician can anticipate the next note in a melody, you'll learn to anticipate the natural rhythms of dialogue. This awareness isn't about filling every moment with words. It's about understanding the ebb and flow of conversation and using that knowledge to your advantage. The importance of this skill cannot be overstated. By preparing yourself to identify pauses before they grow into full silences, you're equipping yourself with a powerful tool. It's like having an early warning system for conversation. You'll be able to spot potential lulls before they become noticeable to others, giving you the opportunity to gently guide the dialogue in a new direction if needed. But perhaps even more importantly, this awareness shifts your entire approach to communication. Instead of reacting to silences with panic or discomfort, you'll learn to see them as natural parts of the conversational landscape. This proactive mindset is transformative, allowing you to navigate discussions with greater ease and confidence. So how do we begin to recognize these subtle cues? It starts with tuning into the nonverbal aspects of communication. Our bodies often signal shifts in conversation long before our words do. A slight change in posture, a shift in eye contact, or a subtle alteration in breathing can all indicate that a pause is imminent. These nonverbal warnings are like whispers in the conversation, easily missed if we're not attuned to them. But with practice, you'll start to notice these subtle shifts. You might observe a conversation partner's eyes darting away momentarily, or their body leaning back slightly. These small movements can signal that they're processing information, searching for words, or perhaps ready to change the subject. Equally important are the tonal variations in speech. The cadence and pitch of someone's voice can provide valuable clues about the direction of the conversation. A slight drop in volume, a slower pace of speech, or a rising intonation at the end of a sentence can all indicate that a pause is on the horizon. As you become more attuned to these cues, you'll find yourself better prepared to navigate the natural ebbs and flows of conversation. But recognition is only the first step. The real magic happens when you learn to use this awareness to keep communication flowing smoothly. This is where bridging statements come into play. These are short phrases or remarks that act as conversational lifelines, helping to span the gap between topics or thoughts. They're not about filling silence for the sake of it, but rather about maintaining the flow of dialogue in a natural, unforced way. Some bridging statements are simple acknowledgments that keep the conversation open. Phrases like, "That's an interesting point," or "I see what you mean," can provide a moment of reflection while signaling your engagement. Others might gently steer the conversation in a new direction, such as, "That reminds me of," or "Speaking of which." The key to using these bridging statements effectively is to keep them light and natural. They should feel like a seamless part of the conversation, not forced interjections. With practice, you'll develop a repertoire of these phrases that feel authentic to your speaking style. Adding light remarks can also be an effective way to bridge conversational gaps. A touch of humor or a casual observation can ease tension and create a more relaxed atmosphere. However, it's important to gauge the tone of the conversation and the relationship with your conversation partner. What works in a casual setting with friends might not be appropriate in a more formal or professional context. As you become more adept at recognizing and bridging pauses, you'll also develop the ability to reset the momentum of a conversation when needed. This is where micro-reflections come into play. These are brief moments where you summarize or reflect on what's been said, providing a natural pause that can then springboard into a new direction. For example, you might say something like, "It sounds like this project has been quite challenging for you." This not only shows that you've been listening attentively, but also opens the door for your conversation partner to elaborate or for you to ask a follow-up question. Gentle probing is another technique for resetting momentum. This involves asking open-ended questions that encourage your conversation partner to expand on their thoughts. Questions like, "What do you think led to that?" or "How did you feel about that?" can reignite a flagging conversation and lead it in new, interesting directions. Now, let's talk about how you can apply these concepts in your daily life. One practical step is to consciously practice observing pauses in conversations with friends or colleagues. Pay attention to the natural rhythm of dialogue, noting when and how pauses occur. Don't try to change anything at first, just observe. This heightened awareness will start to build your intuition for conversational flow. Another useful exercise is to create a list of go-to bridging statements that feel natural to you. These should be phrases that you're comfortable using and that fit your personal communication style. Having these ready in your mental toolkit can provide a sense of security, knowing you have ways to smoothly navigate potential lulls. As you implement these strategies, you might wonder what kind of outcomes you can expect. At a basic level, you'll likely find yourself quickly noticing conversational pauses. This awareness alone can reduce anxiety about silences, as you'll recognize them as natural parts of dialogue rather than awkward moments to be feared. With practice, you'll become adept at using bridging statements to maintain dialogue. You'll find yourself able to gracefully guide conversations through potential lulls, keeping the exchange flowing smoothly and naturally. This skill can be particularly valuable in professional settings or social situations where maintaining engaging conversation is important. The ultimate goal, however, is to reach a point where you can anticipate pauses and steer the conversation naturally. This doesn't mean eliminating pauses altogether. Remember, they serve a purpose in conversation. Rather, it's about developing an intuitive sense of the conversational rhythm and being able to guide it effortlessly. Of course, as with any new skill, there can be some pitfalls along the way. One common issue is that bridging statements can sometimes feel forced or unnatural, especially when you're first starting to use them consciously. The key to overcoming this is practice. The more you use these phrases in everyday conversation, the more natural they'll become. Start with close friends or family members who won't mind if you stumble a bit as you're learning. Another potential problem is over-relying on light remarks to fill pauses. While a touch of humor can be great for easing tension, too much can make you seem like you're not taking the conversation seriously. The solution is to vary your approach. Mix light remarks with more thoughtful bridging statements and open-ended questions to keep the conversation balanced and engaging. As we wrap up this exploration of recognizing and navigating pauses, it's clear that these moments in conversation are far more than just empty spaces. They're opportunities for reflection, for steering the dialogue in new directions, and for deepening our connections with others. By developing your ability to recognize and work with these pauses, you're not just improving your conversation skills, you're enhancing your overall ability to connect with others. Remember, the goal isn't to eliminate pauses entirely, but to become comfortable with them and skilled at using them to enhance your conversations. As you continue to practice and refine these techniques, you'll likely find that your interactions become more fluid, more engaging, and more enjoyable for both you and your conversation partners. But our journey through the intricacies of conversation doesn't end here. As we move forward, we'll delve into even more advanced techniques for keeping dialogue flowing smoothly. The next chapter will introduce you to a powerful set of tools that can transform even the most challenging conversational moments. Are you ready to discover the secret to reigniting a conversation that seems to be fizzling out? The answer lies just ahead. In a realm where words become bridges, connecting thoughts and people, in ways you might never have imagined. Chapter 4, Reengage Tactics. Imagine you're in the middle of a conversation that started off with a spark of energy, but now seems to be losing its luster. The initial excitement has waned, and you can feel the dialogue slipping into that dreaded territory of awkward silences and forced small talk. It's a situation we've all found ourselves in at one point or another. But what if I told you there was a way to breathe new life into these fading exchanges? Welcome to the world of re-engagement tactics, where we'll explore the art of reviving conversations that have begun to fizzle out. These aren't just tricks or gimmicks. They're carefully crafted approaches rooted in the psychology of human interaction. As we delve into this chapter, you'll discover a toolkit of strategies designed to reignite the flames of engaging dialogue. But before we unveil these tactics, let's consider why they're so crucial. At its core, the ability to re-engage in conversation is about more than just avoiding awkward silences. It's about maintaining the flow of human connection, keeping the channels of communication open and vibrant. When you can skillfully navigate the ebbs and flows of dialogue, you're not just talking, you're building relationships, fostering understanding, and creating memorable interactions. Moreover, mastering these re-engagement tactics builds a kind of conversational confidence that can transform your social and professional life. Imagine walking into any situation knowing that you have the tools to keep a conversation flowing smoothly, no matter what challenges arise. This confidence doesn't just make you a better communicator, it makes you a more engaging and memorable presence in any interaction. So what exactly are these mysterious tactics? At their core, they're about creating a bridge, a way to seamlessly transition from a lull back into vibrant dialogue. One of the most powerful tools in this arsenal is the art of topic redirection. This isn't about abruptly changing the subject when things get quiet. Instead, it's about finding subtle connections that allow you to shift the conversation in a new, more engaging direction. Think of it as being a conversational DJ. Just as a skilled DJ can seamlessly blend one song into another, keeping the energy of the dance floor alive, you can learn to blend topics in a way that maintains the flow of dialogue. This might involve picking up on a minor detail mentioned earlier and expanding on it, or drawing an interesting parallel between the current topic and something related but fresh. The key to mastering this skill lies in listening, really listening to what's being said. Often, the seeds of the next engaging topic are already present in the conversation. They just need someone to notice and nurture them. By tuning into these subtle cues, you can guide the conversation in new directions that feel natural and organic. But what if the conversation has truly stalled and there doesn't seem to be an obvious direction to take it? This is where the art of skillful pivoting comes into play. A pivot is a more deliberate shift in conversation, but when done well, it can feel just as natural as any other transition. The secret to a good pivot is finding a connection, no matter how tenuous, between where the conversation is and where you want to take it. Phrases like, "that reminds me of," or "speaking of," can be your best friends here. They create a verbal bridge that allows you to introduce a new topic while acknowledging what came before. However, re-engagement isn't just about changing topics. Sometimes, the most powerful way to breathe new life into a conversation is by encouraging deeper participation from your conversation partner. This is where the art of asking questions comes into play, but not just any questions. The right kind of questions can unlock a wealth of engaging dialogue. Open-ended questions are your secret weapon here. Unlike closed questions that can be answered with a simple yes or no, open-ended questions invite elaboration. They encourage the other person to share more of their thoughts, feelings, and experiences. Questions that start with how or why are particularly effective at prompting deeper reflection and more detailed responses. For example, instead of asking, "Did you enjoy your vacation?" you might ask, "What was the most surprising thing you experienced on your trip?" This not only invites a more detailed response, but also allows the conversation to branch off in unexpected and interesting directions. Inclusive phrasing is another powerful tool for encouraging participation. By using language that invites shared exploration of a topic, you create a sense of collaborative dialogue. Phrases like, "What do you think about?" or "I'm curious to hear your perspective on" signal that you value the other person's input and are genuinely interested in their thoughts. This approach taps into a fundamental aspect of human psychology. We all have a desire to be heard and understood. When you create space for others to share their thoughts and experiences, you're not just keeping the conversation alive, you're building a deeper connection. But what if you find yourself in a situation where the conversation needs more than just a gentle nudge? This is where the concept of collaborative refocus comes into play. It's a more direct approach to re-engagement, but when done skillfully, it can transform a flagging conversation into a vibrant exchange of ideas. One way to achieve this is by gathering shared insights. This involves explicitly acknowledging the current state of the conversation and inviting a joint effort to explore new territory. You might say something like, "We've covered a lot of ground on this topic. I'm wondering if there's an aspect of it we haven't explored yet that you find particularly interesting." This approach does two things. It acknowledges the current state of the conversation, potentially addressing any awkwardness about a lull, and it invites your conversation partner to take an active role in steering the dialogue in a new direction. Another powerful tactic for collaborative refocus is sparking intrigue. This involves introducing an element of curiosity or mystery into the conversation. You might share an intriguing fact related to the current topic, or pose a thought-provoking question that challenges assumptions. The goal is to pique curiosity and invite further exploration. For instance, you might say, "I recently read something that completely changed my perspective on this. Would you be interested in hearing about it?" This not only introduces new material into the conversation, but also creates a sense of anticipation that can re-energize the dialogue. Now, let's talk about how you can apply these tactics in your everyday life. One practical step is to start consciously incorporating open-ended questions into your conversations. Pay attention to how often you ask questions that can be answered with a simple yes or no, and challenge yourself to rephrase them in a way that invites more detailed responses. Another useful exercise is to practice using pivot phrases. The next time you're in a casual conversation with friends or family, try to intentionally use phrases like, "That reminds me of," or "speaking of," to shift the topic. Pay attention to how these transitions feel and how others respond to them. With practice, these pivots will start to feel more natural and seamless. As you implement these strategies, you might wonder what kind of outcomes you can expect. At a basic level, you'll likely find yourself able to recover from minor lulls in conversation with quick fixes. This alone can be a significant confidence booster, knowing that you have tools at your disposal to keep dialogue flowing smoothly. With more practice, you'll start to see yourself deepening conversations by drawing out shared insights. You'll become adept at asking the kind of questions that lead to rich, meaningful exchanges. This skill is invaluable not just in social situations, but in professional contexts as well, where the ability to engage in substantive dialogue can set you apart. The ultimate goal, however, is to reach a point where you can steer conversations into truly engaging and memorable experiences. This is where all the tactics we've discussed come together. The seamless topic shifts, the thought-provoking questions, the collaborative exploration of ideas. When mastered, these skills allow you to create conversations that linger in people's minds long after they've ended. Of course, as with any skill, there can be pitfalls along the way. One common issue is overusing questions, which can make the conversation feel like an interview rather than a natural exchange. The key to avoiding this is to balance your questions with personal input. Share your own thoughts and experiences as well, creating a give-and-take dynamic. Another potential problem is pivoting too abruptly, which can make the conversation feel disjointed. The solution is to ensure that your new topic feels connected to the previous one, even if the connection is subtle. Practice finding those links, no matter how tenuous they might seem at first. As we wrap up our exploration of re-engagement tactics, it's clear that these skills are about more than just keeping a conversation going. They're about creating meaningful connections, fostering deeper understanding, and making every interaction an opportunity for engagement and growth. Remember, the goal isn't to dominate the conversation or to force it in directions it doesn't want to go. Instead, it's about being a skilled facilitator of dialogue, someone who can gently guide an exchange back to vibrant life when it starts to falter. As you continue to practice and refine these techniques, you'll likely find that your conversations become richer, more engaging, and more rewarding for both you and your conversation partners. But our journey through the intricacies of conversation doesn't end here. As we move forward, we'll explore an aspect of communication that goes beyond words and tactics. The next chapter will delve into a realm where the unseen currents of interaction flow, shaping our conversations in ways we might not even realize. Are you ready to discover the hidden force that can make or break even the most skillfully crafted dialogue? The answer lies just ahead, in a dimension of communication where what's not said can be just as powerful as what is. Chapter 5, Emotional Composure. Have you ever found yourself in a conversation where your heart starts racing, your palms begin to sweat, and your mind goes blank? It's as if an invisible force has taken control, leaving you feeling powerless and out of sync. These moments can be jarring, turning what should be a simple exchange into a challenging ordeal. But what if I told you there was a way to harness this force, to turn it from a hindrance into a powerful ally in your conversations? Welcome to the realm of emotional composure, a dimension of communication that often goes unnoticed but wields immense influence over our interactions. As we delve into this chapter, we'll uncover the hidden currents that shape our conversations and learn how to navigate them with grace and confidence. But what exactly is emotional composure, and why is it so crucial? At its core, it's about maintaining a sense of inner calm and balance, even when faced with conversational challenges. It's the ability to stay centered and focused, regardless of what's happening around you or within you. This skill is like having an internal anchor, keeping you steady even when the waters of conversation get choppy. The importance of this skill cannot be overstated. When you can maintain your emotional composure, you set the tone for the entire interaction. It's like being the eye of the storm, calm and collected while chaos swirls around you. This composure doesn't just benefit you, it has a ripple effect on those you're speaking with. People naturally pick up on emotional cues, often subconsciously, and tend to mirror the emotional state of those around them. By staying composed, you create an atmosphere of calm that can diffuse tension and foster more productive dialogue. Moreover, emotional composure helps you stay present and confident under pressure. Instead of getting caught up in anxiety or self-doubt, you're able to focus on the conversation at hand. This presence of mind allows you to listen more effectively, respond more thoughtfully, and navigate the ebb and flow of dialogue with greater ease. But how do we cultivate this emotional composure? It starts with understanding our own emotional states. We often think of emotions as something that happens to us, but in reality, they're complex processes that we can learn to recognize and influence. The first step is developing an awareness of our internal shifts, those subtle changes in our emotional landscape that can signal the onset of stress or anxiety. These shifts might manifest as physical sensations, like a tightening in your chest or a knot in your stomach. They might show up as changes in your thought patterns, perhaps a sudden influx of worried thoughts or self-criticism. By tuning into these signals, you can catch emotional turbulence early before it has a chance to derail your composure. Understanding the difference between stress and calm states is also crucial. Stress often feels like tension, a sense of urgency or pressure. It might come with racing thoughts or a feeling of being overwhelmed. Calm, on the other hand, is characterized by a sense of ease and balance. Your thoughts are clearer, your body feels more relaxed, and you have a greater sense of being in control. Once you can recognize these states, you can begin to influence them. This is where self-regulation techniques come into play. These are practical tools you can use to shift your emotional state, bringing yourself back to a place of calm and composure when you feel yourself getting off balance. One powerful technique is centered breathing. This involves taking slow, deep breaths, focusing your attention on the sensation of the air moving in and out of your body. This simple act can have a profound effect on your nervous system, helping to activate the parasympathetic response, your body's natural calming mechanism. Another effective tool is mental anchoring. This involves creating a mental image or phrase that you associate with a state of calm and confidence. It might be a peaceful scene from nature, a memory of a time when you felt particularly strong and capable, or a simple phrase that resonates with you. By focusing on this anchor when you feel your composure slipping, you can quickly bring yourself back to a centered state. Positive reinforcement is another key aspect of maintaining emotional composure. This involves using encouraging self-talk to bolster your confidence and calm. Simple phrases like, "I can handle this," or "I'm calm and in control," can be surprisingly effective in shifting your emotional state. The key is to find words that resonate with you personally and to use them consistently, especially when you're under pressure. Consistency is crucial when it comes to emotional composure. It's not about never feeling stressed or anxious. That's an unrealistic goal. Instead, it's about developing the ability to return to a state of calm quickly and consistently, even in challenging situations. This consistency builds a kind of emotional resilience, making it easier to maintain your composure over time. Now, let's talk about how you can apply these concepts in your daily life. One practical step is to incorporate mindfulness exercises into your routine. This might involve setting aside a few minutes each day to practice centered breathing or to focus on your mental anchor. The more you practice these techniques when you're not under pressure, the more easily you'll be able to access them during actual conversations. Another useful practice is to develop a set of personal mantras, short, positive phrases that you can use to self-soothe in stressful moments. These might be as simple as "stay calm" or "you've got this." The key is to choose phrases that feel authentic and meaningful to you. Practice using these mantras regularly, perhaps incorporating them into your daily routine or using them before entering potentially stressful situations. As you implement these strategies, you might wonder what kind of outcomes you can expect. At a basic level, you'll likely find yourself able to recover emotional balance more quickly after tough moments in conversation. This alone can be a significant improvement, allowing you to bounce back from awkward pauses or tense exchanges with greater ease. With more practice, you'll start to notice that you can maintain calm even when conversations become challenging or emotionally charged. This ability to stay composed under pressure is invaluable, allowing you to navigate difficult discussions with grace and effectiveness. The ultimate goal, however, is to reach a point where your emotional composure becomes a source of inspiration for others. When you can consistently exude calm and confidence, even in challenging situations, you create an atmosphere that encourages open, productive dialogue. People are naturally drawn to those who can maintain their composure, and you may find that your ability to stay calm has a positive influence on the emotional tone of your interactions. Of course, as with any skill, there can be pitfalls along the way. One common issue is focusing so much on maintaining composure that you lose track of the conversation itself. The key to avoiding this is to practice alternating your focus between your internal state and the external conversation. It's a bit like dancing. You need to be aware of your own movements while also staying attuned to your partner and the music. Another potential problem is overcorrecting to the point of appearing unemotional or detached. While emotional composure is valuable, it's important to maintain a sense of warmth and engagement in your interactions. The solution is to consciously add warmth to your tone and body language, ensuring that your composure doesn't come across as aloofness. As we wrap up our exploration of emotional composure, it's clear that this skill is about more than just keeping cool under pressure. It's about creating a stable emotional foundation from which you can engage in meaningful, productive conversations. By developing your ability to recognize and regulate your emotional states, you're not just improving your own experience of communication, you're enhancing the quality of your interactions and relationships overall. Remember, the goal isn't to suppress your emotions or to become an unfeeling conversational robot. Instead, it's about developing the ability to navigate your emotional landscape with skill and grace, allowing you to engage fully in conversations without being derailed by internal turbulence. But our journey through the intricacies of communication doesn't end here. As we move forward, we'll explore a dimension of conversation that can make or break even the most composed exchange. The next chapter will unveil a critical skill that can transform misunderstandings into opportunities for deeper connection. Are you ready to discover the secret to turning potential conversational disasters into moments of profound understanding? The answer lies just ahead, in a realm where words have the power to heal rifts and build bridges between hearts and minds. Chapter 6, Misunderstanding Fix. Have you ever experienced a moment in conversation where everything suddenly feels off-kilter? It's as if a switch has been flipped, and the easy flow of dialogue has given way to an uncomfortable tension. The air becomes thick with unspoken words, and you find yourself wondering how a simple exchange could have gone so awry. These moments, often born from the smallest of misunderstandings, have the power to derail even the most promising interactions. But what if I told you that these potential conversational disasters could be transformed into opportunities for deeper connection? Welcome to the art of the misunderstanding fix, a skill that can turn the tide of a troubled dialogue and restore harmony to your interactions. As we embark on this chapter, we'll uncover the subtle nuances of addressing miscommunications effectively. This isn't just about smoothing over awkward moments, it's about developing the ability to navigate the complex terrain of human interaction with grace and skill. The techniques we'll explore here are like conversational first aid, allowing you to quickly diagnose and treat communication breakdowns before they escalate into full-blown conflicts. But why is this skill so crucial? At its core, the ability to address misunderstandings is about preserving and strengthening the delicate fabric of human connection. When left unaddressed, even minor miscommunications can create fissures in relationships, eroding trust and making future interactions more challenging. By learning to spot and fix these issues early, you're not just salvaging individual conversations, you're building a foundation for more robust, resilient relationships overall. Moreover, the way you handle misunderstandings can significantly impact the overall flow and productivity of your interactions. Clear, effective resolutions to miscommunications help maintain trust and keep conversations on track. This skill is invaluable not just in personal relationships, but in professional settings as well, where the ability to navigate communication challenges can make the difference between success and failure. So, how do we begin to develop this crucial skill? It starts with honing your ability to spot the early signs of conflict. Often, misunderstandings don't announce themselves with fanfare. They creep in subtly, manifesting in small changes in tone or body language. Learning to recognize these early warning signs is like developing a sixth sense for conversational trouble. One key indicator to watch for is a shift in tone. A sudden edge in someone's voice, a slight hesitation before responding, or an unexpected change in volume can all signal that something has gone awry. Similarly, physical tension, a tightening of the jaw, crossed arms, or averted gaze can be a clear sign that discomfort has entered the conversation. Another red flag to be aware of is rapid disengagement. If your conversation partner suddenly becomes less responsive, offering only short, clipped answers, or seeming distracted, it could indicate that a misunderstanding has occurred. This disengagement is often a defensive mechanism, a way of withdrawing from a situation that feels uncomfortable or threatening. Once you've identified that a misunderstanding has taken place, the next crucial step is addressing it quickly and effectively. This is where the art of apology and recommitment comes into play. A well-timed, sincere apology can work wonders in diffusing tension and opening the door to resolution. The key here is authenticity. A genuine acknowledgement of the misstep goes a long way in rebuilding trust. However, it's important to note that an apology alone isn't always sufficient. Equally important is the act of recommitment, reaffirming the shared purpose or goal of the conversation. This might involve explicitly stating your intention to understand and be understood, or reminding both parties of the common ground you share. By doing this, you're not just addressing the immediate issue, you're reinforcing the foundation of your interaction. For example, you might say something like, "I'm sorry, I think I may have misunderstood what you were saying. Can we take a step back? I want to make sure I'm really getting your perspective on this." This approach not only acknowledges the misstep, but also demonstrates a commitment to moving forward constructively. Maintaining mutual respect throughout this process is crucial. It's easy for misunderstandings to escalate into more serious conflicts if either party feels disrespected or dismissed. The key is to approach the situation with empathy and openness, recognizing that both parties likely have valid perspectives and feelings. One effective strategy for maintaining respect is to focus on fostering constructive talk. This involves actively steering the conversation away from blame or defensiveness and towards problem-solving and understanding. Use I statements to express your own thoughts and feelings without accusing, and ask open-ended questions to invite your conversation partner to share their perspective. For instance, instead of saying, "You're not making any sense," you might say, "I'm having trouble understanding. Could you help me see this from your point of view?" This approach invites collaboration rather than confrontation, making it easier to work together towards a resolution. Now, let's talk about how you can apply these concepts in your daily life. One practical step is to practice using phrases that quickly address tension. Simple statements like, "I'm sorry, I may have misunderstood," or "Can we pause for a moment? I want to make sure we're on the same page," can be incredibly effective in nipping misunderstandings in the bud. Another useful technique is to practice reframing conflicts by focusing on mutual interests or goals. When you find yourself in a disagreement, try to step back and identify what shared objectives you and your conversation partner might have. By highlighting these common interests, you can often find a path forward that satisfies both parties. As you implement these strategies, you might wonder what kind of outcomes you can expect. At a basic level, you'll likely find yourself able to resolve minor misunderstandings without lingering tension. This alone can significantly improve the quality of your interactions, preventing small issues from snowballing into larger problems. With more practice, you may notice that your ability to handle misunderstandings actually strengthens trust in your relationships. When people see that you're willing and able to address miscommunications openly and empathetically, they're more likely to feel safe and valued in their interactions with you. This can lead to deeper, more authentic connections over time. The ultimate goal, however, is to reach a point where you can turn potential conflicts into opportunities for deeper understanding. This is where the true magic happens, when a misunderstanding becomes a gateway to greater empathy and connection. By approaching these moments with curiosity and openness, you can often uncover insights and perspectives that enrich your relationships and broaden your own understanding. Of course, as with any skill, there can be pitfalls along the way. One common issue is over-apologizing, which can undermine your credibility and make the situation feel more serious than it actually is. The key is to strike a balance, acknowledge the misunderstanding sincerely, but then focus on moving forward constructively. Instead of repeatedly saying sorry, offer a clear path forward or a suggestion for how to prevent similar misunderstandings in the future. Another potential problem is failing to fully acknowledge the other person's perspective. In our haste to resolve the situation, we might rush past truly understanding how the other person feels. The fix for this is to make a conscious effort to validate their feelings before moving forward. This might involve paraphrasing what you've heard them say or explicitly acknowledging the impact of the misunderstanding on them. As we wrap up our exploration of the Misunderstanding Fix, it's clear that this skill is about more than just smoothing over awkward moments. It's about developing the ability to navigate the complex, often unpredictable terrain of human interaction with grace and skill. By learning to spot and address miscommunications effectively, you're not just improving individual conversations, you're building stronger, more resilient relationships overall. Remember, the goal isn't to avoid misunderstandings entirely. That's an impossible task in the rich, complex world of human communication. Instead, it's about developing the tools to handle these moments effectively when they do arise. With practice, you'll likely find that what once seemed like conversational landmines become opportunities for growth and deeper connection. But our journey through the intricacies of communication doesn't end here. As we move forward, we'll explore a dimension of conversation that can breathe new life into even the most stagnant exchanges. The next chapter will unveil a powerful technique for keeping your dialogues fresh and engaging, no matter the topic or situation. Are you ready to discover the secret to maintaining conversational momentum, even when it feels like you've hit a dead end? The answer lies just ahead, in a realm where words become stepping stones, leading you to unexplored territories of dialogue and understanding. Chapter 7, Topic Shifts. Have you ever found yourself trapped in a conversation that seems to be going nowhere? Perhaps you've experienced that sinking feeling when a discussion veers into uncomfortable territory, leaving you searching for a graceful exit. These moments can feel like conversational quicksand, pulling you deeper into awkwardness with each passing second. But what if I told you there was a way to navigate these tricky waters with ease and finesse? Welcome to the art of topic shifts, a skill that can transform even the most stagnant exchanges into vibrant, engaging dialogues. As we embark on this chapter, we'll uncover the secrets to steering conversations in new and exciting directions without causing discomfort or disruption. This isn't about abruptly changing subjects or avoiding difficult topics altogether. Instead, it's about learning to guide conversations with a gentle touch, keeping both parties engaged and interested throughout the journey. But why is this skill so crucial? At its core, the ability to shift topics effectively is about maintaining the flow and energy of a conversation. It's a safeguard against those dreaded dead ends that can leave both parties feeling stuck or uncomfortable. By mastering this skill, you're not just avoiding awkward silences, you're actively steering the dialogue towards areas of mutual interest and engagement. Moreover, the art of topic shifting is about more than just keeping a conversation going. It's about creating a sense of shared exploration, where both participants feel they're on a journey of discovery together. This approach not only makes conversations more enjoyable, but also helps build stronger connections and rapport between people. So, how do we begin to develop this crucial skill? It starts with understanding the concept of smooth transitions. Think of a conversation as a dance, where each topic is a new step. Just as a skilled dancer moves fluidly from one move to another, a skilled conversationalist can guide the dialogue from one subject to the next with grace and ease. The key to mastering these smooth transitions lies in knowing when to pivot. This involves developing a keen sense of conversational momentum. Are you noticing signs of disinterest or discomfort from your conversation partner? Is the current topic beginning to feel exhausted or repetitive? These are signals that it might be time for a shift. But knowing when to shift is only half the battle. The real art lies in how you make that transition. This is where subtle verbal bridges come into play. These are phrases or questions that create a natural link between the current topic and the new direction you want to explore. They act as conversational stepping stones, allowing you to guide the dialogue without jarring breaks or awkward pauses. For example, you might use a phrase like, "That's an interesting point. It reminds me of," or, "Speaking of which, I've been wondering about." These bridges acknowledge what's been said while gently steering the conversation in a new direction. The key is to make these transitions feel natural and organic, as if the new topic is a logical extension of what came before. Of course, to use these transitions effectively, you need to be able to identify when a conversation is heading towards a dead end. This skill involves recognizing signs of waning interest or engagement from your conversation partner. Are their responses becoming shorter or less enthusiastic? Are they showing signs of physical discomfort or distraction? These can all be indicators that it's time for a topic shift. Another important aspect of identifying dead ends is recognizing when a conversation has veered into overly personal or sensitive territory. While deep, meaningful conversations can be valuable, there are times when a topic might become too intense or uncomfortable for casual discussion. Learning to recognize these moments and steer clear of them tactfully is an essential part of maintaining comfortable, engaging dialogue. So, how do you craft these engaging pivots? One powerful technique is to harness curiosity. Human beings are naturally curious creatures, and by tapping into this innate desire to learn and explore, you can create seamless transitions to new topics. This might involve asking a thought-provoking question related to the current subject, but taking it in a slightly different direction. For instance, if you've been discussing travel, you might ask, "I wonder how technology will change the way we explore new places in the future." Another effective strategy is to reconnect to the original intent of the conversation. Often, discussions can meander far from their starting point. By gently bringing the focus back to the initial purpose or theme, you can create a natural bridge to new, relevant topics. This not only helps maintain the overall coherence of the conversation, but also ensures that both parties remain engaged with the core subject matter. Now, let's talk about how you can apply these concepts in your daily life. One practical step is to start incorporating transitional phrases into your conversational repertoire. Practice using lead-ins like "on another note" or "that's interesting, it reminds me of." These phrases can serve as your go-to tools for smooth topic shifts. The more you use them, the more natural they'll feel, and the more effortlessly you'll be able to guide conversations. Another useful exercise is to practice noticing conversational cues that signal disinterest or discomfort. Pay attention to subtle changes in body language, tone of voice, or engagement level from your conversation partners. By honing this awareness, you'll be better equipped to identify when a topic shift might be necessary. As you implement these strategies, you might wonder what kind of outcomes you can expect. At a basic level, you'll likely find yourself able to successfully redirect conversations away from awkward or unproductive topics. This alone can significantly improve the quality of your interactions, helping you avoid those uncomfortable moments of silence or tension. With more practice, you may notice that you're able to maintain interest and engagement throughout longer conversations by smoothly transitioning between related topics. This skill is particularly valuable in professional settings or social situations where sustained, meaningful dialogue is important. The ultimate goal, however, is to reach a point where you can guide conversations into deeply engaging areas naturally and effortlessly. This is where the true art of conversation comes into play, when you can take a discussion in unexpected yet fascinating directions, keeping both yourself and your conversation partner thoroughly engaged and excited to explore new ideas together. Of course, as with any skill, there can be pitfalls along the way. One common issue is making transitions that feel too abrupt or forced. This can happen when we're eager to change the subject, but haven't quite mastered the art of smooth transitions. The fix for this is to soften your lead-in language. Instead of jumping directly to a new topic, try to create a more gradual shift. For example, instead of saying, "Let's talk about something else," you might say, "What you said about X made me think about Y. Have you ever considered?" Another potential problem is misreading conversational cues and shifting topics when your partner is still engaged with the current subject. This can lead to confusion or frustration. The solution is to check for subtle feedback before making a significant pivot. You might ask a question like, "Would you like to explore this topic further? Or shall we move on to something else?" This gives your conversation partner a chance to express their preference and ensures you're both on the same page. As we wrap up our exploration of topic shifts, it's clear that this skill is about more than just avoiding awkward silences or uncomfortable subjects. It's about creating a dynamic, engaging conversational experience that keeps both parties interested and involved. By mastering the art of smooth transitions, you're not just improving individual interactions, you're enhancing your overall ability to connect with others and explore ideas together. Remember, the goal isn't to constantly jump from topic to topic or to avoid depth in your conversations. Instead, it's about developing the flexibility to guide discussions in productive, engaging directions when needed. With practice, you'll likely find that what once seemed like potential conversational pitfalls become opportunities for rich, rewarding exchanges. But our journey through the intricacies of communication doesn't end here. As we move forward, we'll explore a dimension of conversation that goes beyond individual interactions to shape the very fabric of our relationships. The next chapter will unveil a powerful approach to building lasting connections through dialogue. Are you ready to discover the secret to creating conversations that don't just end when you say goodbye, but continue to resonate and strengthen your bonds long after the words have been spoken? The answer lies just ahead, in a realm where every exchange becomes a building block in the architecture of enduring relationships. Chapter 8: Resilient Bonds. Have you ever wondered why some relationships seem to weather any storm, while others crumble at the slightest breeze? What is it that makes certain connections so enduring, so unshakable? As we embark on this chapter, we'll uncover the hidden threads that weave together the fabric of lasting relationships and discover how the art of conversation plays a crucial role in strengthening these bonds. Throughout our journey in this book, we've explored various strategies to navigate the sometimes turbulent waters of communication. We've learned to recognize pauses, re-engage when conversations falter, maintain emotional composure, and skillfully shift topics. But these skills are more than just tools for smoother dialogue. They're the building blocks of something far more profound and enduring. Imagine for a moment that each conversation you have is like laying a brick in the foundation of your relationships. Some conversations might be small, seemingly insignificant exchanges, while others are weighty, meaningful dialogues. But each one, no matter its apparent importance, contributes to the overall structure of your connection with others. Now consider what happens when you consistently lay these bricks with care and skill. Over time, you're not just building a wall, you're constructing a fortress of mutual understanding, trust, and respect. This is the essence of what we mean by resilient bonds. It's about creating relationships that don't just survive the occasional miscommunication or awkward silence, but actually grow stronger through these challenges. It's about fostering connections that are flexible enough to bend without breaking, robust enough to withstand the tests of time and circumstance. But why is this so important? In a world where digital communication often replaces face-to-face interaction and where our attention is constantly pulled in multiple directions, the ability to form deep, lasting connections is more crucial than ever. These resilient bonds provide a sense of emotional safety and belonging that is fundamental to our well-being. They're the relationships we can rely on when times get tough, the connections that enrich our lives and give it meaning. Moreover, these strong relationships enhance every aspect of our lives. In our personal sphere, they lead to more fulfilling friendships and romantic partnerships. In the professional realm, they can open doors to opportunities, foster better teamwork, and create a more positive work environment. The ripple effects of strong, resilient bonds extend far beyond the individuals involved, influencing communities and even societies at large. At the heart of building these resilient bonds lies trust. Trust is the cornerstone upon which all strong relationships are built. But what exactly do we mean by trust in the context of communication? It's more than just believing that the other person is honest. In conversation, trust manifests as a feeling of safety, the belief that you can express yourself openly without fear of judgment or ridicule. When trust is present in a dialogue, something magical happens. People become more willing to share their thoughts and feelings, even on topics that might normally make them feel vulnerable. ideas flow more freely and creativity flourishes. Disagreements, when they occur, are more likely to be constructive rather than destructive. In essence, trust creates a space where true connection can occur. But how do we build this trust through our conversations? It starts with consistency. When you consistently demonstrate empathy, clarity, and composure in your interactions, you're sending a powerful message. You're showing that you're reliable, that you care about the other person's perspective, and that you can handle challenging moments with grace. Over time, these consistent behaviors create a pattern that others come to rely on and trust. Another key aspect of building trust is vulnerability. This doesn't mean oversharing or forcing intimacy where it's not appropriate. Rather, it's about being authentic and willing to show your true self, including your imperfections. When you admit to not knowing something or acknowledge a mistake, you're actually building trust. It shows that you're human, relatable, and honest. As you focus on building trust through your conversations, it's important to engage in continuous improvement. This involves regular reflection on your communication patterns and setting personal goals for growth. After significant interactions, take a moment to consider what went well and what could be improved. Did you listen actively? Were there moments where you could have shown more empathy? By engaging in this reflective practice, you're constantly refining your skills and becoming more attuned to the nuances of effective communication. Setting personal goals is another crucial aspect of continuous improvement. These goals might be specific to certain relationships or general communication skills you want to enhance. For example, you might set a goal to ask more open-ended questions in your conversations, or to practice paraphrasing to ensure you're understanding others correctly. By setting and working towards these goals, you're actively investing in the quality of your relationships. One of the most powerful ways to build resilient bonds is by encouraging open dialogue. This means creating an environment where all parties feel comfortable expressing their thoughts and feelings. Active listening plays a crucial role here. When you truly listen, not just waiting for your turn to speak, but genuinely seeking to understand, you're showing respect and building trust. Active listening involves more than just hearing the words being spoken. It's about picking up on tone, observing body language, and trying to understand the emotions and intentions behind the words. It's about asking clarifying questions and paraphrasing to ensure you've understood correctly. When you practice active listening, you're sending a powerful message. Your thoughts and feelings matter to me. Equally important is affirming progress in your relationships. This doesn't mean constant praise or agreement, but rather acknowledging positive changes and growth. When you notice that your communication with someone has improved, or that you've successfully navigated a challenging conversation, take a moment to recognize it. This affirmation reinforces positive patterns and encourages further growth. Now, let's talk about how you can apply these concepts in your daily life. One practical step is to use reflective journaling to track your communication successes. After important conversations or interactions, take a few minutes to jot down what went well, what challenges you faced, and what you learned. Over time, this practice will help you identify patterns and areas for improvement in your communication style. Another useful exercise is to set specific goals for improving trust in key relationships. This might involve committing to regular, meaningful conversations with certain individuals, or practicing specific communication skills in your interactions with them. The key is to be intentional about nurturing these important connections. As you implement these strategies, you might wonder what kind of outcomes you can expect. At a basic level, you'll likely notice improved conversational flow and mutual understanding in your interactions. Awkward silences will become less frequent, and when they do occur, they'll feel less uncomfortable. You'll find it easier to express your thoughts and feelings, and you'll notice others opening up more to you as well. With continued practice, you may find that your connections become more consistent and rewarding. You'll develop a reputation as someone who's easy to talk to, someone who can be trusted with sensitive information or difficult conversations. This can lead to deeper friendships, more effective professional relationships, and a general sense of ease in your social interactions. The ultimate goal, however, is to build lasting, resilient relationships founded on trust. These are the connections that stand the test of time, that weather conflicts and challenges, and that continue to grow and deepen over the years. When you reach this level, you'll find that your relationships become a source of strength and joy in your life, rather than a source of stress or anxiety. Of course, as with any complex skill, there can be pitfalls along the way. One common issue is misinterpreting trust-building steps. You might think you're building trust by sharing personal information, for example, when in reality you're making the other person uncomfortable. The fix for this is to regularly ask for feedback. Check in with the other person about how they're experiencing your interactions. This not only helps you correct course if needed, but also demonstrates that you value their perspective, itself a trust-building move. Another potential problem is neglecting consistency in your communication efforts. It's easy to fall into the trap of making a big effort to improve your communication for a short time, only to slip back into old habits. The solution is to prioritize regular communication, making it a part of your routine rather than a special effort. This might mean scheduling regular check-ins with important people in your life, or setting reminders to practice your communication skills daily. As we wrap up our exploration of resilient bonds, it's clear that this skill is about more than just avoiding awkward silences or navigating difficult conversations. It's about creating a foundation for rich, rewarding relationships that can withstand the tests of time and circumstance. By consistently applying the communication skills we've discussed throughout this book, you're not just improving individual interactions, you're building a network of strong, meaningful connections that can enrich every aspect of your life. Remember, building resilient bonds is an ongoing process. It's not about achieving perfection in your communication, but about consistently showing up with empathy, clarity, and authenticity. With practice, you'll likely find that what once seemed like challenging conversations become opportunities for deeper connection and understanding. But our journey through the intricacies of communication doesn't end here. As we move forward to our final chapter, we'll explore how these skills can transcend individual relationships to transform your entire approach to life and self-expression. Are you ready to discover how mastering the art of conversation can open doors you never knew existed, leading you to a life of richer experiences and more profound connections? The answer lies just ahead. In a realm where words become more than just a means of communication, they become a pathway to a more fulfilling, connected existence. Chapter 9, Beyond Words. As we reach the final chapter of our journey, let's take a moment to reflect on how far we've come. We've explored the intricacies of conversation, from recognizing pauses to crafting smooth topic shifts, from maintaining emotional composure to building resilient bonds. But as we stand at this threshold, I want you to consider a profound truth. What you've learned goes far beyond mere words or conversation techniques. The skills you've acquired throughout this book are not just tools for better dialogue. They're keys that can unlock doors to a richer, more fulfilling life. They're the foundation for deeper self-expression, stronger relationships, and personal growth that extends well beyond the realm of conversation. As we delve into this final chapter, we'll explore how the art of communication you've mastered can transform every aspect of your existence. Imagine walking into any social or professional setting with an unshakable sense of confidence. No more second-guessing yourself or feeling tongue-tied in important moments. The techniques you've learned have equipped you with the ability to navigate any conversational terrain with grace and ease. That nagging fear of awkward silences? It's a thing of the past. You now understand that pauses are not enemies to be vanquished, but opportunities to be embraced. This newfound confidence isn't just about feeling good in the moment. It's a transformative force that can reshape your entire social and professional landscape. In your personal life, you'll find yourself forming deeper, more meaningful connections with friends and loved ones. The enhanced trust and openness that come from skilled communication will allow your relationships to flourish in ways you might never have imagined. Think about how this could play out in your professional life. The ability to engage in steady, engaging conversations with ease can open doors to new opportunities. Whether you're networking at an industry event, pitching an idea to your boss, or negotiating with a client, your enhanced communication skills will set you apart. You'll be able to articulate your thoughts clearly, listen actively, and respond thoughtfully, all crucial skills in any professional setting. But perhaps one of the most powerful outcomes of your journey is the increased ability to resolve conflicts peacefully. In a world where misunderstandings can quickly escalate, your skill in navigating difficult conversations becomes invaluable. You now have the tools to address disagreements with empathy and clarity, finding common ground even in challenging situations. This ability alone can save relationships, both personal and professional, that might otherwise have been lost to miscommunication. Consider for a moment what you can achieve now that you couldn't before. The ability to create meaningful connections on the fly is a superpower in our fast-paced, often impersonal world. Whether you're at a social gathering, a business conference, or even just in line at a coffee shop, you have the skills to turn a casual encounter into a potentially significant connection. This isn't about being manipulative or insincere. It's about having the tools to recognize and seize opportunities for genuine human connection. As you continue to practice the concepts from this book, you'll find that your results improve with less and less conscious effort. What once required careful thought and deliberate application will become second nature. The initial hesitations you might have felt when applying these techniques will be replaced by habitual confidence. Conversations will flow more naturally and intuitively, allowing you to be fully present in the moment, rather than worrying about what to say next. This evolution from conscious competence to unconscious mastery is where the true magic happens. As these skills become ingrained in your daily interactions, you'll find that your entire approach to communication, and indeed to life, begins to shift. You'll become more attuned to the subtle nuances of human interaction, picking up on cues and responding in ways that foster deeper understanding and connection. But the impact of mastering these skills goes even further. As you become more adept at expressing yourself clearly and listening actively, you'll likely find that your own self-understanding deepens. The process of articulating your thoughts and feelings to others can lead to profound insights about yourself. You might uncover aspirations you never knew you had, or gain clarity on issues that have long puzzled you. Moreover, the empathy and understanding you develop through skilled communication can broaden your perspective on the world. As you engage in meaningful dialogues with a diverse range of people, you'll be exposed to new ideas, different worldviews, and alternative ways of thinking. This expansion of your mental horizons can lead to personal growth in areas far beyond communication. In your professional life, the ripple effects of your enhanced communication skills can be truly transformative. You might find yourself better able to lead teams, inspire colleagues, or influence decision-makers. The ability to articulate vision, provide clear feedback, and foster open dialogue are hallmarks of great leaders, and they're all rooted in the communication skills you've developed. But perhaps the most profound impact of all is how these skills can enhance your sense of connection to the world around you. In an age where digital communication often replaces face-to-face interaction, the ability to engage in meaningful, in-person dialogue becomes even more precious. You now have the tools to create moments of genuine human connection in a world that often feels increasingly disconnected. As we conclude our journey, I want you to realize that what you've gained is far more than a set of conversation techniques. You've acquired a new lens through which to view the world, one that emphasizes understanding, empathy, and genuine connection. You've developed skills that can enrich every aspect of your life, from your most intimate relationships to your broadest professional aspirations. The path forward from here is one of continued growth and exploration. Each conversation becomes an opportunity to refine your skills, to deepen your understanding, and to forge new connections. The confidence you've gained will allow you to step into new situations with ease, ready to engage with the world in a more meaningful way. Remember, the goal was never to become a perfect conversationalist. Such a thing doesn't exist. Instead, you've become something far more valuable, a person who can navigate the complex world of human interaction with grace, empathy, and authenticity. You've gained the ability to turn awkward silences into opportunities for connection, to transform potential conflicts into moments of understanding, and to create meaningful bonds even in brief encounters. As you move forward, carry with you the knowledge that you now possess one of the most powerful skills a person can have: the ability to truly connect with others. This skill will serve you in every area of your life, opening doors to new opportunities, deepening your relationships, and enriching your understanding of yourself and the world around you. So go forth with confidence, knowing that you're equipped to handle whatever conversational challenges come your way. But more than that, go forth with curiosity and openness, ready to engage with the world in a deeper, more meaningful way. The journey you've undertaken in mastering the art of conversation is really just the beginning. It's the first step on a path to a richer, more connected life. A life where awkward silences are a thing of the past, and where every interaction holds the potential for growth, understanding, and genuine human connection. Your words have power. Use them wisely, use them kindly, and watch as they transform not just your conversations, but your entire world. The journey beyond words has just begun, and the possibilities are limitless. Yet, as you've learned to navigate conversations with ease, you might find yourself wondering, how can I make an even greater impact with fewer words? There's an art to communicating powerfully while speaking less, a skill that can amplify everything you've learned so far. Curious about how to achieve this next level of communication mastery? The answer lies in developing a quiet confidence that speaks volumes. To continue your transformation and unlock this powerful skill, dive into the audiobook Quiet Confidence: How to Achieve More by Saying Less. Tap the center of the video now to continue your transformation journey.